This is Nick with Temple of Geek, and it's so nice to talk to you, Michael. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
First off, the movie's great, and what I'm curious about to start off with is what drew you to this project? What made you want to make Alma the Wolf?
The first thing is that Abby wrote this, really good script with a sort of great, really strong psychological basis to it that really resonated to me the first time I read it. Like it really stuck with me. Like I almost made this movie years ago and didn't quite get it off the ground and made Oregon Trail, a Western, this horror Western instead. And but it really was sort of like living, in my head. So that when after we finished Oregon Trail, we moved on to go like, okay, I think that's I want to make that one next. And it was an opportunity to work not just in to work with a very grounded psychology, but also to work in across, like I saw an opportunity to work across multiple horror genres to sort of like, because it's so important, I think nowadays, because the audience is sophisticated and smart to make a movie where people don't know where it's going. They can't quite put their finger on it. And I like to sort of, it's a pleasure to me as an artist, as a filmmaker, to do that as well, to go like, no, 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 I'm not going in that direction. I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to go like that. So to have a story, as we developed it, to come up with a story where I could move across many genres, many horror genres, many even thriller genres and stuff like that. And then, but also have a reason why in the end to sort of like be able to sort of like have take the audience on this sort of like, what? Whoa, ride of like, oh my God, that was horrible. Oh, that was funny. It was like, oh, that was weirdly sexual. Oh, that was like, and that was funny again. Wait, what's going on? And then to be able to go like at the point where they're like, okay, what the heck? What the fuck's going on here? To be able in the last 20 minutes of the movie to sew it up and really stick the landing on like not only why that was the case throughout the entire movie, but answer the central mystery of the story and also like sort of bring the hammer down on really true horror.
And that's definitely one of the things that I appreciated with it is most movies are still just so predictable. Even if they're like going to like do like some sort of spin at the end, you're able to keep that mystery that entire time. And I wasn't able to guess where the story was actually going. So successful. Well done on that.
Cool, thank you.
And of course you're working with an amazing cast. I
Mm,
mean this movie is so reliant on that cast and those performances.
yeah.
Could you talk to me a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, working with actors is the greatest part of my job. I love it. I really love it. And this group of actors, I mean, Ethan, obviously fantastic and has like a long history of being fantastic. And if you could, this is a very difficult role. It covers a lot of psychological terrain. It's physically arduous as well. And
Hmm.
he's in practically every shot of the movie. So he really brings it. And to be able to like take the guy at the beginning of the movie and the guy at the end of the movie and make you believe that they're the same guy is a tremendous feat. Jun Li is phenomenal in it. She's like so graceful and so sort of lightly funny and sort of like she's able to sort of like be very slinky inside of the different genre things and she's so subtle in her ways and she's wonderful. Um, some of the other cast members are people that I've known, like Kevin Allison, who I've known since I was 18 and we've worked together in the state and in multiple projects before. Mather Zickel, who's in the movie, I've known him since I was in college. My son is in the movie. I've known him his entire life. You know, being able to like a cast that to be able to take all those people together, that wonderful group of people, and like literally head out into the woods in the winter, to the coast on the beach where the weather was terrible and we were all hunkered down and we were lashed by rain and wind and stuff like that to be all there together out at the literally the end of the continent this sort of like horror mystery has been was such a it was a great experience and they were and you're right there were a great cast.
And what are you excited for audiences to get from this film to take away from this?
Well, I hope that the thing that I want the most is I hope that in the middle of it, or for the beginning through that they're able to take the ride and ride the kind of like, wait, whoa, because there is definitely it's a movie that's a little bit of a challenge for the audience as well. Because of the nature of the mystery, it can be I know some people sometimes react, especially in early cuts of the movie, like before all the sound and all the niceties were in, there's a lot of like, wait, what the fuck is going on in the middle of this movie? Like, and I think now it makes sense, but there's definitely in the middle, there's a ride to take, that I hope that people take. And then with the knowledge that in the ending, it's not the kind of movie that leaves you with like, well, I don't know what the fuck happened at the end of that. Like, it's not a sort of like, it's not that kind of movie. The movie has an ending. It ties up all of the loose ends get tied up, and they get tied up in a way that is sort of like emotionally devastating and truly horrific. So I hope that people will be like, there is no other horror movie exactly like this. So I hope that people will like sort of take the ride and also take the time to reflect afterwards because of the nature of the movie, there's a lot of like a second viewing of this. Like this movie's deliberately designed for the era of streaming where you can watch it again.
Yeah.
Because if you watch it a second time, I think you know what I'm talking about. Like if you were to watch it a second time, you'd be like, oh, I see. Like there's a lot of like recursive storytelling in it that a second watching of the movie will actually tell you a slightly different story.
I did definitely, and of course, your use of like the practical effects keeps it that like kind
Mm,
of intimate and that loop and that
yeah.
kind of scariness.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was important to sort of like one of the horror areas I really wanted to be into was like the John Carpenter area,
Hmm.
and sort of like yeah, and honor that. Like those are horror movies that I grew up with, and those are all practical effects, and those are super like but they're also really fun, and that's part of what this movie's about. Is like like it's about horror, it's about true horror for sure, but it's a fun ride to get there.
Thank you so much for talking to us. I
Oh,
wish you
thanks for
all
having me.
success in this movie, and it's been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.